Today on Commander Replay, Neheb puts it all on red as we check out this Neheb Dreadhorde Roulette Champion deck. Is it as easy as spin to win? Find out next on Commander Replay. I want to thank my awesome Patreon supporters. You guys are awesome. If you want to help support the channel and vote on which decks I play next, feel free to check out my Patreon at the link below. Welcome back, everyone. Playing some Neheb Dreadhorde Champion today. Take a look at this opening hand. Looks like one land, Soul Ring, Library, Seize the Day, Boots. Oh, one more land and it would be so good. The land count is 34 in this deck, so low likelihood of finding one off the top. That's 2 lands and a Soul Ring. Okay, yeah, that works out. I like that. So today's deck list comes to us from GoFundMe donor and Patreon supporter Randy, aka Kithron, and I have actually faced this build of their deck once a long time ago, and it ran me over in like 4 or 5 turns. I think there was a mana crypt involved, so it did get really fast, but this is a very fast, very powerful deck. It's an all-in kind of deck, so like spot removal is really bad against what we're trying to do, but if the deck gets going, it is just explosive and hits hard and fast. So hopefully we'll be able to do that today. We do have a turn 1 Soul Ring in our hand, so those are really good. Oh, and the name of the deck, by the way, is Neheb Dread Roulette Champion, so all about spinning the wheel and wheeling and trying to find new stuff. So, and anyway, taking a look at what Neheb does, it's 2 red for a 5/4 with Trample. When it deals combat damage to a player or a planeswalker, you may discard any number of cards. If you do, draw that many cards. Add that much red mana. Until end of turn, you don't lose mana as steps and phases end. So essentially, you cycle a bunch of cards and then get that much mana for your second main phase. And you can do some really explosive, combo-centric-y kind of things with it, so yeah. So we get to our turn. There's a Recoup. I should read this one. I don't actually know what this does. Target sorcery card in your graveyard gains flashback until end of turn. Cool. And it has flashback itself. All right. So we'll lay down a mountain and play the Soul Ring. And we'll pass the turn like that. I'm joined by 2 Patreon supporters today. First up, we have Vermilion Nintendo, piloting K&T. And we saw this deck the other day. I can't remember what I played against it, but perhaps it was in the Sir Gwyn game? I don't remember now. But I didn't get a great feel for what their deck was actually trying to do, so maybe we'll get a better look at it today. Many different directions to go with K&T. And they're going to get themselves a Farseek, so getting down to that ramp. And K&T will give us lands and card draw, which are both good things for this deck. So next up, we have Pauper R. Bust piloting Tetsuko Umezawa, Fugitive. Creatures you control with power or toughness 1 or less can't be blocked. Oh, yep, here we go. We'll lay down all the 1/1 creatures that can't be blocked. When Riptide Pilfer deals combat damage to a player, that player discards a card. Ooh. And Shram Senior Edifice are coming in for opponent Alpha CE, and they're piloting a Balan deck, so assumingly going to be a lot of equipments. Brings it back to our turn. Let's almost play the Strip Mine. Let's play the Mountain and get our commander, because that makes sense. Almost played that Strip Mine. We can just discard this Squee. Seems like a really good discard target should we get hit with the Pilferer, so shouldn't be too bad for us. And we do have ourselves a turn 2 Neheb. We are last in the turn order, though, so sort of like a turn 3 Neheb, as far as our opponents are concerned. Here comes K&T into play. Sweet. I'll probably go for the land, since our deck has the ability to draw a lot of cards via the wheel effect, so getting lands into play is the thing that's just harder for our deck to do, so I think we'll do that. And we get that end step trigger, so we'll drop the Strip Mine in, and everyone else is going to take the land as well. No one wanting to fall behind on lands. K&T is actually really hard for Neheb to get through. It's so big. It's got so much toughness. 2/8. So we'll probably have to be looking in the other directions for where we want to get damage in. Here comes a Oval Chase Dragster, one that wasn't really on my radar. It's a vehicle. It's a crew 1 that turns into a 6/1 with Trample and Haste. That is really interesting. Sort of like the Ball Lightning of vehicles almost. Doesn't get sacrificed at end of turn, just goes back into artifact form. But they're going to send it our way. All right, well, looks like they want to start a war. I suppose it is unblockable with Tetsuko, so that's a thing. Here comes Balan into play. Yep. And that's a World at War. Oh my. We've got exactly 5 mana. Oh, we're going to be able to do some things. Swing into the Tetsuko Umezawa player. Get in the Neheb trigger. They take 5. Go down to 35. Discard the Runeborn Hellkite. That's best served in our graveyard. Discard the Squee. Recoup seems fine to discard. Molten Psyche, I think I want to keep around. Cavalier, I kind of want to keep. Cavalier is a pretty sweet card. And I think we're probably going to cast the World at War. So cycle all those. We draw another land. We get a Fists of Flame. Okay. Okay. Play a mountain. Ooh, Incendiary Command. Oh my. We need Metalcraft for the Molten Psyche to do its magic. But this seems like a great time for World at War. So World at War goes off. We'll play the Fist in Flames. Pay one more. We draw another land. It's a 10-4. Untap our creatures. Go back to combat. Incendiary Command is going to be really good against Tetsuko Umezawa. I don't actually want to discard any of our cards. I don't think we really have, like, that much else to do this turn. I want to keep the land for the K and T. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to cycle anything else right here. I don't know if that's incorrect, piloting this deck or not, but... Opponent's at 25 and 15, Commander. I guess we'll pass the turn like that. Ooh, here comes Joyra Weatherlight Captain. This is a sweet card. I put this into my Sisei deck the other day, and the Legendary Blades one. And whenever it survives, which it usually doesn't, it draws a lot of cards. So K and T end step trigger. Discard the mountain, or we'll get the mountain into play. Here comes Tetsuko Umezawa into play. Yep. Here comes a Scroll Thief. Opponent gonna send the 1/1 our way. Yeah, we'll have to discard. It's not amazing. What are we getting rid of? Well, these all have 3 toughness now, which is not amazing. Probably the Incendiary Command. So discard the Incendiary Command. We do have enough mana to exile the Runeborn Hellkite. I'm not sure how badly we need to do that. Maybe we do just because we're kind of low on cards. It's also really disruptive against our opponents. Here's an Opening Armory. Let's see what they're going for. I guess we can always flash back the Molten Psyche. That's a thing that we can do. It's a Bloodforged Battle Axe. Yeah, it's kind of scary, but at least it'll take a second to get going. It's not just like a Feast and Famine or something, so that's cool. Opponent's going to use the ability to equip it to Balan. Sure. Balan's a 5/3 first strike, which is actually enough to keep us from attacking them. Interestingly, opponent has 2/3 toughness creatures in play, which means we could, like... Oh, Balan's going to come our way. Okay, well, we have an opening on Balan now, so we'll probably go that way. If they stayed back with Balan, then we can't attack them. We actually don't really have an attack anywhere. But opponent choosing to get some damage in on us, try to get that extra Bloodforged trigger. Yep, there that is. So, I mean, we'll have to be careful for next turn because, like, when they put 2 equipments on there, it's going to have, what, 7 power and have double strike? And that assumes they don't cast another equipment. That's kind of scary. So that'll bring it back to our turn. We'll get a Squee Goblin Nabob trigger. So it'll come back to our hand, and World at War will rebound. Cast World at War. It goes to the graveyard. Oh, we draw a Price of Progress. Deals damage equal to each player equal to twice the number of non-basics they control. Those are basics, those are basics. It'll get Nate pretty good. Not so much the Balan's actually the next thing I'm worried about, honestly. So, do we cycle now or do we cycle after? Like, do we just use the Runeborn? Does it make sense to do that? I don't know. I just don't know. I think we do. So, you exile the Runeborn Hellkite and wheel everyone's hand. That's an Aetherflux Reservoir. That's a card. Oh, that's a Blood Mist. Oh, my. Unfortunately, we're short-handed on mana, but we will get a second combat. Play a land. Oh, we have so many weird choices to make. Swing into Balan. Neheb will hit. They go down to 35. 5 commander. Cycle the land. Wild Guess. Faithless Looting. Ooh, we draw a Relentless Assault. So we go to our second main phase. Let's get Blood Mist in. Go back to combat. Blood Mist on Neheb. Untap all of our creatures. Swing into the blue player. They're going to double block. Yep. Or the first hit gets soaked up, but the second hit will get through. And they go to 19 commander. Oh, that's disappointing. Have to attack them again. Neheb triggers once again. Cycle land, increasing ambition. Oh, that's a mana geyser. Oh, we're one short of the mana geyser. How do we get more mana? So if we play the Relentless Assault, we only have 5 cards in hand. We have to discard everything to have enough to play. Oh, no, we could go 4. If we went 4... Oh, no, because we have to play the Relentless Assault. Okay, play Relentless Assault. Swing into the... Where are we swinging? I think we're swinging into Balan. Oh, Neheb trigger. What are we doing right here? Love to get that Aetherflux Reservoir into play. Maybe we just cycle everything. Oh, there's a Seize the Day. And a Wheel of Fortune. Okay. Oh, that double strikes. Oh my. Discard. Seize the Day is only 3 to flash back. Maybe yeah, I think we discard Seize the Day. Mountain. If we start thinking about like that Molten Psyche. Mountain. Oh, we need another artifact for the. We need more artifacts for the thing, so I kind of don't want to discard it. I think I'm going to keep the boots and the wheel. Oh, we get a Fury Storm. Oh my. Flashback Seize the Day. We'll bankroll 3 mana, and we may be able to just win from here. So it'll take... To use the recoup, we'll take 4 and then 5 on the Molten Psyche. That's 9. We need 9 mana. I don't know if we can get to 9. Oh, maybe we can. We can if we double cycle. Okay, so Neheb will trigger. Discard Chaos Warp, Fury Storm. Just go everything. Let's just go everything. Oh, that's an aggravated assault. And Balan goes down. Turn 4 kill on the Balan. We've got another Neheb trigger. Discard these 3 lands. There's a Pyroblast and a Chain Reaction. Play the aggravated assault. Activate aggravated assault. Go back to combat. Swing into the blue player. So they died to combat damage. We'll get that Neheb trigger. What stuff are we keeping? Pyroblast is reasonable to keep around, I think. We could probably pitch Chain Reaction. We'll discard those 2. And on the second one, we're not going to use it because we're not supposed to actually get that hit right there. We end up with a Magus of the Wheel and a Red Elemental Blast. Yeah, I guess play the Magus of the Wheel. Sit on Red Elemental Blast. And pass the turn. Wow, that was a turn. Opponent's going to play an Urza's Ruinous Blast. Exile all permanents that are not legendary. Yeah, we can't do much about that. Still got our commander, though. End step K and T trigger. We're going to take the draw. There's a Crucible of Worlds, and Squee will come back to our hands. Squee's so good in this deck. There's a Gutter Snipe. Oh, man, I wish that was in play when we were doing all this stuff. I mean, I think the plan should be something like Gutter Snipe, Pyroblast. Yeah, let's start with that. Gutter Snipe, Pyroblast, the K and T. Gutter Snipe will trigger. And get busy with this Neheb. So we get a hit. What are we discarding? Let's discard Squee, obviously. Do we want the Crucible of Worlds? Maybe we do. We've kind of run out of gas. Yeah, I think just the Squee right here. So we get 1, we get the Mountain. Oh, I did that wrong. Played a Mountain from my hand. Should have played it from the graveyard. Get the Crucible of Worlds in. That was a boo-boo. We need to refill our hand a bit. How do we want to go about doing that? We have a Faithless Looting. Doesn't actually refill us, really. Yeah, I think we just pass like that for now. So we've stalled out a bit. I'm sure if I knew how to pilot this deck better, we probably could have gone all the way. I think I just needed to attack, honestly. With the double strike on Neheb, even with all the toughness of both creatures in play, I think we still would have had good times there. Coalition Relic for our opponent. Yep. Ooh, here comes Asperia. Whenever a creature attacks you or a planeswalker you control, you may draw a card. Okay. Opponent will get to draw a card off the cast. Yeah. Probably need to shoot that Asperia. Shoot the Asperia. Get 2 damage. Squee trigger. Squee comes back. We draw a Mountain. Play a Mountain from our grave. Go to combat. Swing with Neheb. Get a hit. Cycle both of these. There's an Infiltration Lens. That's interesting. We get 2 additional mana. That gives us 10 total. I think we're talking about a place about flashing back the World at War. So it's 4 to do that and 5 to do that. Yeah, that's 9. It's another combat. I think that's what we're doing. So use Recoup on World at War. It gains flashback. Cast World at War. We'll play this Infiltration Lens. Attack again. We get to cycle. Oh my, it's a Past in Flames. We don't have any mana left, though. We get 1 mana. We'll equip the Infiltration Lens. So I think next turn with the Past in Flames, we should be able to win. Oh, we could have flashback Price of Progress. I'm dumb. Well, that's the plan for next turn, and the good news there is that we don't even care if our stuff survives or not. We just literally need to Past in Flames and Price of Progress. Time of Need. Let's see what our opponent's got. It's an Avacyn. Yeah, Avacyn would be good if we weren't going to Price of Progress. Here comes Avacyn. Opponent will get to draw a card. Yep. Brings back to our turn. Squee trigger. Squee comes back. There's Elhammerit's Archive. Past in Flames. Gutter Snipe trigger. Price of Progress. And down they go. This deck. Oh my. This thing is a monster. So I get it. It does not want to see removal. If your opponents do not play a lot of removal, this deck can absolutely thrash them. Phew. I mean, it was insane to me how many combats we were able to string together without actually having them in hand. Like, we just kept wheeling into them, and the ability to play some things from the graveyard, just, this deck is well built. I really like this thing. Again, it's a mono-red deck, and most of these mono-red commanders are very all-in. Like a Swords to Plowshare is going to be a really bad time for us, but... Whew. This deck does some things. I have had the good fortune of being run over by this deck in the past, and the experience was very similar, just that they actually ended it on turn 4 or 5. That was me just being a little bit unfamiliar with the deck, not, you know, having like too many choices of things in the graveyard to flash back and stuff like that, but whew. Yeah, this deck does work. Anyway, thank you to Kithron for sending me this deck list. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, feel free to comment, like, or subscribe. Thank you for watching.